Growing in patience. Example, writing an ebook. Be patient. Well, it doesn't come automatically. Yet, becoming patient simply requires practice over time. One good place to start is working at being more patient with yourself. After all, you've got some control over yourself. By being patient with you, you can work towards success in an area that matters to you. There are ways of growing as a person that you can put into place to help you to succeed. Growing in patience is easier when you allow yourself to first make a moment to accept your situation as it is right at this present moment now. So, for example, suppose you want to write an ebook. You've wanted to for a while, and yet you've put it off. Maybe that's your situation. Or maybe it's something else. But let's look at the ebook example. Quietly observing that you've not done yet what it is that you need to do to succeed is a good way of starting. Beginning by being patient with yourself and acknowledging your desire to complete whatever it is, in this case, your own ebook. Just acknowledging that desire is a good place to start. And then gently accept that you've not done so yet, for whatever the reason might be. Then resolve to be patient with yourself as you figure out a way to make your ebook, for example, happen. Calmly observe that you've simply not yet done what it is that you need to do to make your ebook a reality, or whatever it is that you're looking at. You simply haven't done what you need to do. And being patient with yourself, allowing yourself to accept where you are, makes a difference. It helps you get started. And consciously choosing to be patient with your starting process is good practice. So continuing the ebook example, tonight you might sit down for an hour to begin. You might invest that hour in brainstorming an outline for your work. Be gentle with yourself as you repeat that evening hour as many times as you need to. Once you have an outline, you might choose the next steps, forming a plan to proceed and go forward. That might mean, for example, editing your outline. It might require thinking about what kind of research, if any at all, is going to be necessary to go forward. Your plan might develop slowly over time, and as you create your outline, you might feel inspired, realizing that you already know enough to write about each topic. If there's a few areas that you're not well versed in, you might choose to remove them from the outline. Or if you're keenly interested in one area that does require research, you might choose to learn more about that particular area. Being patient with yourself might mean following up by committing to write, say, a page each day. Practicing patience might include playing around with the timing of your commitment. So this week you might get up a little earlier in the morning to write your page on your computer. Next week, perhaps you test out the idea of doing your page by hand in a journal during your lunch break. If you're determined about growing in patience, you're likely to succeed. Learning to be able to tolerate delay leads you to success. So continuing with that example of you creating an ebook, that might mean you accepting that, well, on some days, you simply are not putting in the effort. Getting back on track by writing a page today might help you to learn to be patient with yourself. Or deciding that you're just going to write the next paragraph on any one of the topics might be wiser. You have control of your actions. So breaking what you want to do into tiny enough steps and doing them can deliver the persistence part that leads to patience with yourself. Success in growing with patience isn't so much in achieving a goal. It's more about the process that you go about it. And growing does require persistent work in all areas, including patience. And folks have shared with me that one of the challenges they face is the lack of patience. So whenever you've got a desire for growing in patience, I encourage you to start with yourself. You can choose one thing that'll give you good practice, and then give yourself a chance to put that into practice. Growing in patience. Starting out with an example of writing an ebook, you might want to pick something smaller or larger. but you can do it either way. By the way, do you want to learn more? If so, then join the email list here at software-enterprise.com. You'll get instant access to a training, followed by email training as well. Thanks so much for being here. This is Cynthia Ann Layton, owner of Software Enterprise Limited.